YouTube. We have another movie review in the can. Well, it's going to be in the can. Y2K. That's right. The A24 raunch comedy that is more like a what if technology actually took it upon itself to become self-aware in the year 2000. And well, I had fun. It was a fun time. It was a fun movie. It's not perfect. It's kind of all over the place tonally because in the beginning it plays like a stoner comedy, and then the apocalypse part happens, and then like it goes from being this kind of awkward apocalyptic thing where you see young teens fight machinations. It's kind of a mixed bag in that respect. Ultimately, these two friends, the leads of our movie, Jaden Martell, who plays Eli, and of course his best friend Julian Dennison. They're just the average nitwit kids. 1999. A lot of callbacks in the 90s. I thought actually that was actually pretty cool. Like we saw you see Walkmans, you see an N64, you see a whole bunch of different shit. You see a bunch of kids like take alcohol out of a liquor store and run. Like you don't really see that often anymore. Um, yeah, but the movie opens up on them, their friendship. You see them kind of get bullied a little bit by a couple other characters. You see, you know, Jaden Martell's Eli. He's got a thing for the other lead, Rachel Zegler, whom, if I'm gonna be brutally honest, like she was probably like the weakest part of the movie for me, because she's playing this character who's like super popular, and she's also kind of like a tech whiz, which those things almost never go hand in hand. Weirdly enough, I mean maybe they do, but the way she played it was superbly unrealistic, very flat, very like you could tell she was maybe reading her lines just I guess more or less she was phoning it in, and it was fine. And the thing they ended up taking out was this thing called like the singularity, and this is essentially basically like think of Skynet, but like if Skynet poked fun at humanity. Like if Skynet actually took the time to just kind of fuck shit up and just be like, "Ha ha, you're mine now." It's kind of awkward. Very 2000s esque in terms of the effects too. Like, and I think that's also by design. It's actually very intentional. But you know, again, like it goes from like this dark comedy where these two friends like they get kind of fucked up. One of them realizes like, oh, I'm kind of a wimp, I'm kind of a loser, and his other friend's like, dude, it's gonna be the year 2000. This is gonna be our year. We're gonna do this, and they break into this party, and like as soon as midnight strikes, Eli, the main character, is like all by himself. His friend Danny, who's played by Julian Dennison, he's all just having a great time, and like there are some really awkward jokes in this movie too. Like at one point they talk about the Arena incident. I won't spoil exactly what it is, but it's very like super bad ish, but kind of lazy maybe. I mean, the movie is also produced by Jonah Hill too. That might have something to do with it. Honestly, the whole premise of it is like, what if Y2K was actually an apocalypse thing that happened? Feels like something Jonah Hill would say. And yeah, this movie really plays with that idea. And then the one twist I thought was like kind of an oh shit moment was they killed Danny. They killed Julian Dennison's character with like halfway through the film, and it's like, oh, well that sucks because I liked his character. He was a fun one. But they kind of go through some tropey things. Like they have the whole like relationship between Eli and Rachel Zegler's character. What is her name? Laura. There we go. Her character's name is Laura, and like they wind up together at the end of it. It's all gravy. The big surprise for me was actually seeing Fred Durst, and like there's actually a pretty large Limp Bizkit presence throughout the entirety of this movie that I wasn't really expecting, but it makes a lot of sense given that it takes place in 1999 slash 2000, and even some of the kids that bully Eli and Danny are also like that. They wear heavy metal shit. They've got like bead necklaces. One of them's a huge Limp Bizkit fan, and like there are some Limp Bizkit musical notes littered throughout. But like the fact that Fred fucking Durst has like a supporting role in like the third act of this movie completely made me go, "What the fuck? Fred Durst is in this." It was pretty cool. Not gonna lie, like it was kind of a cool thing. Like he gets a little bit of a moment, and it's it's fun. Like, the movie's not beautiful. It's like not perfect. It's definitely kind of shocking that A24 even like okayed this. But at the same time, it's like, well, A24 has notoriously been like, superbly serious with something like The Iron Claw, or just like a lot of just wicked horror movies, or elevated horror, as a lot of people like to throw those terms around. But this is just like, I don't know, it's an ode to dark stoner comedies. Weirdly enough, it's almost like Idle Hands. It is almost like Idle Hands in a certain way, and I feel like the best part of it is the fact that you have, Julian Dennis and Jaden Martell. Like, their friendship kind of sells it. Honestly, I think even like, well, the funnier thing is like how a condom is a fucking MacGuffin in this movie, and it actually has a purpose by the end of it. I won't spoil what it is, but it's actually pretty funny. Not gonna lie. There was one scene where a few of the main characters actually wind up in a fucking porta potty. That that was actually pretty ingenious and pretty funny, all things considered. But yeah, there are some tropey things that happen. It's, again, kind of a tonal mix bag. But it's still fun. Like, I don't expect this to get any awards. I don't expect this to like make a massive imprint on the box office. Unfortunately, it looks like it's considered a disappointment at this point. But yeah, it's fun. I had fun with it. It's not anything to like, go out and see immediately, but at the same time, like, if you see it, I would recommend it. Like, it's cool. Like I said, it's a fun time, and it almost feels like Idle Hands in a way. I would say that, like, even some of the effects and some of the way they retrofitted a lot of older technology to make them look like giant robotic monsters and shit, that was pretty ingenious. I will not lie. The fact that they had technology literally gravitate towards each other and like build itself up almost Terminator-esque was actually kind of intriguing. But yeah, I think a lot of it is kind of on the shoulders of the cast to carry this movie. I think there is some overacting and some underacting. Like, there are maybe even just some technical aspects too, where I was just like, why? Like, there are moments where you kind of just the shot is just framed on Jaden Martell's face, and he's just like, and they keep doing that a lot throughout this movie, and I was like, why do we keep doing this? This is the same face the kid makes in almost every single thing he's in, but we're just gonna hang on it for a couple seconds, like every half hour, give or take. It's kind of strange, but still, it's just one of those things that I noticed. Um, but overall, I give it like a 3 out of 5. I like some characters more than I like others. I think the premise is intriguing. I'm kind of bummed it's not doing better, but at the same time, given what's out right now, you've got Wicked, Gladiator, Moana 2. There's no way this thing was gonna land as well as it did, profitability speaking. Like, there's no way it was gonna make that much money the weekend it released. But it's fun. Would I say wait till streaming? Yeah, you probably won't have to wait that long. Probably not. I mean, it'll probably be on HBO Max within the next month, because A24 has a deal exclusive with Max. So you probably won't be waiting too long to see it. I wouldn't doubt it. But yeah. Yeah, Y2K was cool. It was a fun time. And if you're a fan of the 90s, there's definitely like, or rather, if you are from the 90s, if you're a fan of the 90s, if you grew up in the 90s, there are things in this movie that are going to make you point the finger and do the Leo thing. But yeah, it was a good time. Definitely a good time. I won't really say how the movie ends, because it there are some funny bits at the end, because this is, again, very much like a what if Y2K actually ended up in a technological apocalypse, and that premise alone is at least to me anyway, is an intriguing enough sell for anyone who's just like, oh, I wonder what this is about, and you just tell them, oh, it's Y2K, but if technology actually decided to wipe humanity out, or at least attempt to. But yeah, Y2K, A24. It was a fun time. Nothing special, but a fun time. All the less. Do me that favor, hit that like and subscribe button. Really helps the YouTube channel, helps everything else. Do me that favor. Much love. Take care.